Well, actually, I've always had an interest in finance, but one of the things that really, I think, catapulted me into this was actually my economics teacher at Christendom College, actually, Dr. Chester. And he really expressed to us how capitalism and free enterprise is really a beautiful thing. And if we can bring our faith into the marketplace, whatever it is that we're doing, whether it's, you know, we're owning a retail store or trading stocks or whatever it is that we're doing, we can actually bring our faith into it. So, ironically, even though most people probably aren't going to Christendom for an economics background, for me, that really was the thing that sort of catapulted me into the industry. I think one of the things that really helped me was that when I was going to Christendom, each upper division class had a requirement of a 15-page paper. And I did some writing in high school, but not as intensive as at Christendom. And I think the writing papers forced me to produce coherent thought. It forces you to have a line of reasoning and make an argument. And I think that in the business world, that's very, very important. I think one of the things that is underestimated too by sort of liberal arts and the way Christendom approaches things is that in the business world, people are always looking for a new system. They're looking to be given a system of how to do things, how to trade stocks, things like that. We are more likely to develop one rather than follow an existing one. We're more likely to develop one. And the other thing too is if in terms of the body of thought and the body of learning that we develop there, I've always been a little bit surprised how much we do use Aristotle and St. Thomas, because much of economics and finance is a behavioral science. And the more you understand human nature, the more you really can apply that to what you're doing. And I think having that understanding of human nature has really helped us. And I believe that it helps us, you know, going forward. I think specifically looking at the liberal arts nature, I think that we use each of those subjects in terms of what we're doing. I think if I just had an accounting degree, or if I had just a degree in finance without taking political science and studying, you know, international law, international trade, theories of politics that we studied at Christendom, I think that I wouldn't have been able to do this as well as we are, because right now, and even in the last 10 or 15 years that we've been doing this, finance has changed. Very little is just domestic now. We have to look at the rest of the world. And I think that by having the political science background and political theory background, it helps us understand why we would want to invest in some countries and not invest in others. And I think by having that political philosophical background, that really does aid us in terms of where we should put money for our clients and what we can expect to happen there to some degree. Other than my family, Christendom, I was probably closer to the students at Christendom than I've ever been to a group of people in my life. It's just, it was a great place to form friendships. It's one of those rare opportunities that any of us get in life to spend 4 years with people who are of like mind. That's pretty rare, and I have yet to really experience that again. Bring Christ into the workplace. One of the things that we have always attempted to do is follow Christendom's motto, which is to restore all things in Christ. That's one of the things that we really try to do on a day-to-day basis. So the question for someone coming into my business is, well, how do I do that? For us, that was avoiding companies involved in abortion and things that are contrary to the ethical teachings of God, contrary to the teachings of the church. But I think that's something that we all can concentrate on, whether we go into finance, whether we go into law, whether we go into education. We're all basically faced with the same challenge. How do we bring Christ into that area, into that field, and how do we restore that thing to Christ?